I can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it. I was a really bad actor at school, and I've never been able to master the art of mimicry.
Regarding the royal family and the drama that they are involved in, there are no days off. The moment you believe that one is over, another one appears out of nowhere. To add insult to injury, the most recent one involves none other than Queen Camilla, who expresses her displeasure with the remarks that the late Queen Elizabeth II made about her. To be more specific, what did Queen Elizabeth say? More importantly, why is Queen Camilla bringing up a matter that has been known about for many years? Come along with us, because this is going to be an exciting ride on a roller coaster. More drama within the family? Drama is something that the British royal family is no stranger to. However, this most recent one might very well be the most scandalous one to date. The late Queen Elizabeth II allegedly made a comment about Queen Camilla while she was still alive, and it has reportedly caused her to become extremely angry. Currently, the most shocking thing is the manner in which she discovered it. Over the course of many years, Camilla has been portrayed as the antagonist of the royal conundrum. The difference is that this time, you might find yourself feeling sympathy for her. Princess Anne, who is known for never being one to sugarcoat the truth, is said to have broken the news to Camilla during a recent Balmoral summit, as reported by various sources. Are you interested in learning more about the shocking truth? Have a watchful eye. It was revealed by Princess Anne that Queen Elizabeth had never really desired for Camilla to inherit the throne. What a shock, isn't it? In point of fact, the late monarch would have preferred Princess Kate to play the role because he believed that she exemplified the grace that was required for the position. On the other hand, that is only the tip of the iceberg. Anne went even further, allegedly telling Camilla that Queen Elizabeth detested her and that the only reason she agreed to her title of Queen Consort was because of an unspoken deal that was made behind the scenes. What's more, this is where things start to get really interesting. According to reports, King Charles capitalized on Prince Andrew's connections to Jeffrey Epstein in order to convince his mother to give Camilla's title her blessing. Let's talk about some drama in the family. During that time period, Charles required the Queen's public endorsement of Camilla as they were getting closer to the occasion of her Platinum Jubilee. On the other hand, Queen Elizabeth, who has always been a pragmatic person, was aware that the public would have a difficult time accepting Camilla as queen. At one point in time, it was intended for her to be referred to as Princess Consort rather than Queen. Charles, however, was able to use the situation to his advantage by convincing his mother to concede to Camilla's title in exchange for handling the Andrew crisis. This was accomplished despite the fact that the weight of Andrew's scandal was looming over the monarchy. Camilla is still troubled by the truth even after all these years have passed. The sting that was left behind by the fact that Queen Elizabeth never truly accepted her and that she was only granted her title as a result of royal maneuvering has still been felt. And it would appear that the power struggles that are taking place within the royal family are not yet over, given that Princess Anne has revealed these secrets. Concerning royal drama, however, there is one thing that can be said with absolute certainty. The crown is never devoid of controversy. On the other hand, in light of all these shocking revelations, we can't help but wonder why Princess Anne is the one who is keeping the secret to herself. The question is, why wait until this very moment to bring everything up? Does the relationship between the two women have any unresolved issues? Or is there any other factor at play here? In any case, it would not be unexpected if this was yet another chapter in the ongoing conflict that has been going on between Anne and Camilla for a very long time. Because of the friction that has existed between them for many years, their relationship has always been difficult to understand. But let's wait a little while before we get into that drama. For the time being, let us compare and contrast the alleged dislike that Queen Elizabeth has for Camilla with the obvious admiration that she has for Princess Kate. It is common knowledge that the late Queen cherished Kate Middleton and regarded her as the ideal candidate for the role of Queen Consort in the future. Indeed, this admiration has been around for quite some time. In actuality, it began in the year 2006. It was clear that the late Queen had a special fondness for Kate. Because of this, Queen Elizabeth extended an invitation to Kate to spend the holidays at Sandringham while she was still dating Prince William. This was an extremely rare honor for a royal girlfriend who was not yet married. Despite this, Kate, who is known for her respect for tradition, declined in a courteous manner. The fact that she was only 24 years old at the time meant that she was aware that she did not have an official place at the royal family's most intimate gatherings until there was a marriage proposal involved. Not only did she eventually become William's wife, but she also became a firm favorite among the royal family. Her patience and wisdom helped her achieve this. The fact that Queen Camilla took notice of Kate's growing influence, and not in a positive way, appears to have been the source of the jealousy that began to develop from this point on. It has been reported that she has made it abundantly clear that she does not consider Princess Catherine to be an appropriate match for William or for the future of the monarchy. Christopher Anderson, an expert on royal affairs, claims that Camilla was not overjoyed when William and Kate first started dating. As a matter of fact, she was adamantly opposed to the relationship between them. Anderson asserts that Camilla did not consider Kate to be a member of their social circle and that she considered her to be an outsider. Anderson is the author of The King, The Life of Charles III. Her perspective was that Middleton, who was born into a middle-class family, was not a suitable match for the king who would one day rule the land. To what extent did Camilla's initial distaste for Kate stem solely from her social standing? Or was she concerned about the possibility of losing her influence over Charles and the future of the royal family? Regardless of the circumstances, the tensions that have been building up between these two powerful royal women have only been simmering below the surface up until this point. It would appear that the royal drama is not yet over, especially considering that Princess Anne is adding fuel to the fire. Nevertheless, it has come to light that Princess Anne is not the only one who harbors reservations about Camilla. It would appear that the large majority of members of the royal family, including none other than Prince William himself, are of the same opinion. In the event that you believe that it is due to the remarks that Camilla made about Catherine, then you are incorrect. In spite of the fact that this may have played a role in the fact that he did not have a genuine affection for Camilla, there is another reason, one that goes back to when William was a young child. Prince Harry, in his explosive memoir titled Spare, revealed the alleged tension that existed between William and Camilla. Camilla has always been a little afraid of William, according to Harry, and William has always merely tolerated her. In fact, she has always been timid around him. But the real surprise is that during the conversation, Harry disclosed that he and William had pleaded with their father, King Charles III, to refrain from marrying Camilla. According to him, their stepmother was notorious for spreading rumors about them and the rest of the royal family to the media. He also claimed that she was behind the leaks. When Camilla finally became a part of their lives, Harry wrote in his book that he had pondered whether or not she would be one of those evil stepmothers. Undoubtedly, the tension did not materialize out of thin air overnight. During the 1980s and 1990s, Camilla's infamous affair with Charles, which took place while he was still married to Princess Diana, had left deep scars on the individuals involved. She and Charles had a relationship that was on again, off again, and Diana famously stated in an interview with Panorama that there were 3 of us in this marriage, which meant that it was a bit crowded. The tragic death of Diana, which occurred in 1997 as a result of a car accident, shocked people all over the world. Charles persisted in his plans to marry Camilla, and in 2005, he finally tied the knot with her. This was in spite of the fact that his son had expressed his clear disapproval of the idea. According to what Harry wrote in Spare, Charles was adamant about moving forward with the marriage, despite the fact that he and William had made efforts to convince their father otherwise. The fact that they had shook his hand, wished him well, and reassured him that there was no ill will towards him was something that he mentioned. Despite the fact that Harry's feelings of resentment towards Camilla continued to be obvious, those with knowledge of the situation asserted that William had moved on, particularly after Harry left the royal family in the year 2020. William and Camilla had reportedly triumphed over a number of significant obstacles over the course of their relationship, as stated by sources cited in US Weekly. The source of the information explained that William and Harry had always harbored a deep-seated mistrust and animosity towards Camilla because of their profound devotion to their mother. According to reports, they never felt secure enough to open up to her in a manner that was even remotely meaningful. However, there was one person who had been instrumental in enhancing the relationship between Prince William and Princess Kate, and that person was the Prince of Wales. In spite of everything that Camilla has said about Kate, Kate has consistently shown her affection and respect throughout their relationship. Even though it was possible that the wounds of the past would never completely heal, it seemed as though William and Camilla had reached a truce for the time being. On the other hand, given that Anne was said to be stirring up tensions and that the shadows of the past continued to linger, the question that remained was, how long would this royal peace actually last? The conflict between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla. Despite the fact that Princess Catherine and Queen Camilla's relationship may appear to have been repaired, there is still a contentious feud between the two royals that is much more complicated. Princess Anne and Queen Camilla. In 2005, when Prince Charles was married to Camilla Parker Bowles, Queen Elizabeth II took an unusual step. She married Camilla Parker Bowles. Princess Anne would never be required to bow to Camilla, according to a special document that she had her private secretary draft for her. It was revealed at the time by a former courtier that it was done at the behest of Princess Anne and Princess Alexandra, who did not see any reason to show obeisance to this extremely unpopular woman. This is in reference to Camilla. To put it another way, Anne decided that she would not put up with it, and she made it abundantly clear that she had no intention of bowing to her brother's new wife. However, you might be wondering why. To put it simply, everything came down to love. Their history can be traced back to the 1970s, when Camilla was involved in a relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles that was characterized by periods of on-again, off-again behavior. But here's where things get interesting. Over the course of Camilla's relationship with Andrew had sexual relations with Princess Anne. However, this is the point at which the discord began. It was decided to create a royal love rectangle instead of a love triangle, with the two eldest children of the Queen as the participants. The drama was even added to the third season of The Crown, which helped to rekindle interest in this feud that has been going on for decades. Based on the information provided by a palace insider, the resentment has never really subsided. All throughout their history, Anne and Camilla have had a tense relationship, and this is bringing up a lot of old wounds. There is absolutely no possibility that these royal rivals will ever become friends with one another. But let's proceed to the present day. It would appear that things have turned out differently, at least in public. In November of the previous year, Princess Anne was the one who presented Camilla with an honorary doctorate in literature from the University of London. In fact, the two women appeared to be more intimate than ever before as they traveled to the ceremony together. Anne lauded Camilla's remarkable efforts to promote literacy, including her Queen's Reading Room initiative, in her capacity as the long-standing chancellor of the university, which she has held for many years. Moreover, in a twist of irony, Camilla was the one who was required to bow down in front of Chancellor Anne in order to receive the honor. The icy tension that existed between them in the past was a far cry from this moment, especially when one considers the fact that their romantic lives were initially intertwined. Andrew Parker Bowles was already known for his history of cheating on his partners when Anne began dating him for the first time. Penny Junor, a royal biographer, asserts that Andrew was notorious for being a cad and that he had been involved with other women, including some of Anne's friends. During the time that Camilla was introduced to Charles, Jr. explained that she had been aware that Andrew was with Princess Anne at the time, and she had made the decision to teach him a lesson. It was as a direct consequence of this that Camilla started her own affair with Prince Charles. At the end of the day, both of Bowles's love affairs, Anne's with Andrew Parker and Camilla's with Charles, had been unsuccessful for the same reasons. Their early relationship was initially met with disapproval from the royal family. What is the reason? As a result of her previous relationships with other people, Camilla was not suitable for a future king. Because of this, they divorced in 1973. The relationship between Anne and Andrew Parker Bowles, on the other hand, was doomed from the beginning. This was not because of a lack of affection between the two, but rather because of royal protocol. Under the terms of the Act of Settlement 1701, Andrew Parker Bowles, who was a devout Catholic, would never be permitted to wed a member of the royal family. Despite the fact that Anne, who was still the fourth in line to the throne at the time, would have been fully aware of this, the breakup was still difficult to bear. The fact that Andrew broke off their relationship in 1973 and then announced shortly afterward that he was going to marry, Camilla was said to have left Anne in a state of complete and utter devastation. Anne is said to have rebounded from the heartbreak by entering into a marriage with Captain Mark Phillips, a cavalry officer. Although the marriage was initially promising, it ultimately did not last and caused a great deal of stress for the royal family. Anne Phillips's marriage to Mark Phillips was officially terminated in divorce by the year 1992. According to Bedell Smith, Anne's alleged lovers included none other than Andrew Parker Bowles. It is important to note that they had already been separated for 3 years, during which time there were reports of infidelity on both sides. As fate would have it, Charles and Camilla eventually tied the knot in 2005, paving the way for a love story that endured decades of scandal. But Anne and Andrew were the ones who ended up getting married. Neither of them has completed their story. What is truly fascinating is the way in which these long-standing tensions and entanglements within the royal family have developed over the course of time. There must have been a constant source of quiet friction between Anne and Camilla due to the fact that Andrew Parker Bowles maintained a close relationship with both of them, despite the complicated history they shared. There have been persistent rumors for a long time that Anne's feelings for Andrew Parker Bowles never really lost their intensity. Andrew continued to be one of Anne's closest friends and companions, even after he had been married to Camilla for several decades. He is even the godfather of her daughter, Zara Tyndall, in the same way that King Charles is the godfather of Tom Parker Bowles, the son of Andrew and Camilla in the United Kingdom. Sally Bedell Smith, a royal biographer, asserts that Anne and Andrew continued to maintain a strong connection even after the conclusion of their romantic relationship. She seems to imply that their relationship went beyond that of simple friendship. Bedell Smith even makes a passing reference to the persistent rumors that say Anne and Andrew's relationship may have continued even after they had married their respective spouses. Although Camilla succeeded in winning Charles, Anne's presence and self-assurance in her royal status always seemed to give her the upper hand in their dynamic. Camilla may have ultimately won Charles. For Camilla, who had to endure public scrutiny for years as the other woman, Anne's personality and her firm standing as the Queen's daughter most likely added an additional layer of tension to the situation. Nevertheless, it is ironic that Anne's own divorce and subsequent remarriage made it possible for Camilla to finally marry Charles, despite the fact that they were initially cold towards each other. When the late Queen saw that the monarchy did not collapse after Anne left Mark Phillips for Timothy Lawrence, she appeared to soften her stance on her son's controversial relationship. This occurred after she saw that the monarchy had not collapsed. Now, 20 years later, it appears that Anne and Camilla have discovered something they have in common, not only as members of the royal family, but also as two fiercely devoted individuals who are committed to supporting King Charles. Even though they have maintained their close ties to the same man who once played such a daring role in their romantic stories, they have gone from being rivals to allies. This is a strange twist of fate that has changed their relationship dynamic. On the other hand, while Camilla and Anne have established themselves as members of the royal family, another royal woman is still working to establish her own legacy. Despite the fact that Kate Middleton, who will one day become the Queen Consort, is frequently compared to other royals such as Princess Diana, Queen Camilla, and even the late Queen Elizabeth II, she is not given sufficient credit for being her own unique individual. The Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading was the location where Kate was born on January 9, 1982. She was born into a family that belonged to the upper middle class and had connections to the landed gentry on her father's side, while her mother's side had roots in the working class. Prior to establishing their own prosperous company, Party Pieces, her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, were employed by British Airways while they were in the workforce. Not much attention was paid to Kate's childhood by the royal family. Because her family relocated to Jordan when she was only 2 years old, she was able to attend a nursery school that was taught in English in that country. Her family moved back to Berkshire in 1986, and she immediately began attending St. Andrew's School. After that, she continued her education at Marlborough College, where she was successful in both athletics and academics. She even won a Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award for her leadership on the girls' hockey team, where she served as captain. Her life, however, was irrevocably altered when she enrolled at the University of St. Andrews, which is located in Scotland. A chance encounter between her and Prince William took place at that location, and as the saying goes, the rest, as they say, is history. However, Kate has always been more than just the girl who married a prince, despite the fact that many people are focused on their royal romance. In spite of the fact that she had been accepted to the University of Edinburgh, Kate decided to take a gap year during which she attended classes at the British Institute of Florence in Italy and participated in a Raleigh International program in Chile. In addition, she worked as a deckhand at the port of Southampton for the duration of the summer before enrolling at the University of St. Andrews, which is located in Scotland. After beginning her academic career with a concentration in psychology, she eventually shifted her attention entirely to art history. She did this while maintaining a part-time job as a waitress. She was also an active member of the Lumsden Club, where she was responsible for organizing community projects and fundraising events. Her undergraduate master's degree in art history was awarded to her in the year 2005. She was living at St. Salvator's Hall at the time, and it was at St. Andrews that she first met Prince William in the year 2001. She is said to have caught his attention in 2002 while she was walking the runway in a dress made of sheer lace at a charity fashion show. When they were in their second year of dating, they were officially dating by the year 2003. They shared a flat with two other friends during that time, and later moved into Balgove House together. Their relationship was not without its challenges. In 2004, they briefly parted ways before coming back together again. Immediately following her graduation, Kate found herself subjected to unrelenting scrutiny from the tabloids because of her relationship with William. At the same time that she was working as a project manager for her family's business in 2006, she also took on a part-time position as an accessories buyer for Jigsaw. In addition, she was responsible for managing the company's website and catalog. There were numerous instances in which she was seen attending royal events, including William's passing out parade at Sandhurst. The couple had a second breakup in April 2007, which occurred in December 2006, but they got back together not long after that. In the year 2008, she was making her way further into the realm of royal circles, having attended the wedding of Peter Phillips at William's residence and having her first encounter with Queen Elizabeth II. In the same year, she was observed attending the procession of the Order of the Garter, which was held to honor William with the title of Royal Knight of the Garter. During the year 2008, when Prince William was stationed in the Caribbean with the Royal Navy, Kate continued to be frequently seen attending high-profile royal events. For the purpose of William's Royal Air Force search and rescue training, the couple moved into a cottage on the Bodorgan estate in Anglesey, Wales, in June of 2010. This was the location where William was stationed. A Chelsea flat that was owned by their parents was where Kate and her sister Pippa resided prior to the engagement between the two of them. After that, in October of 2010, William made his proposal at a remote alpine cabin on Mount Kenya. He was on a trip to Kenya's Liwa Wildlife Conservancy for a period of 10 different days. On the 16th of November, Clarence House announced the engagement to the public. There was a single gesture that connected the past and the present, and that was William's proposal with the iconic sapphire and diamond ring that his mother Diana wore. At St. James Palace on March 10th, Kate was confirmed into the Church of England in preparation for her future as a member of the royal family. Williams and the rest of her family were present during the ceremony. Their wedding, which took place on April 29, 2011 at Westminster Abbey and coincided with St. Catherine's Day, was nothing short of a spectacle that was witnessed all over the world. An estimated 300 million viewers around the world tuned in to watch the event, with 26 million of those viewers watching live in Britain alone. The United Kingdom declared the day to be a bank holiday. The dress that Kate wore to her wedding, which was designed by Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen, became an instant household name. The title of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge was bestowed upon her marriage that took place. Anmer Hall, a rural retreat located on the Sandringham estate, was presented to the couple by the Queen as a gift for their wedding. Following an 18-month renovation that cost £4.5 million, they moved into apartment 1A at Kensington Palace in 2013. Prior to that, they had been residing in Nottingham Cottage in London throughout their entire time there. They continued to make Kensington Palace their primary residence until the year 2017. As of September 2022, the family had made their home in Adelaide Cottage, which was located in Windsor. The arrival of Prince George in July 2013, Princess Charlotte in May 2015, and Prince Louis in April 2018 brought the number of children in Kate and William's family to more than 3. The announcement that Kate had undergone planned abdominal surgery at the London clinic for an undisclosed medical condition was made by Kensington Palace in January of 2024. Her prolonged absence sparked intense media speculation and a wave of conspiracy theories, particularly after William withdrew from a major royal event, citing a personal matter as the reason for his decision. She withdrew from public engagements through the month of March. Over the course of a video message that she sent out on March 22nd, Kate broke her silence and disclosed that post-operative tests had revealed the presence of cancer and that she had been undergoing chemotherapy since the end of February. Despite the fact that she had extended her medical leave, she made an unexpected appearance at Trooping the Color in June. She later confirmed in a letter that she was still receiving treatment throughout the month. While she continued her recovery, she made sporadic appearances in public over the course of the subsequent months. At the beginning of September, Kensington Palace released a video message in which they announced that she had finished her chemotherapy treatment and was getting ready to resume her royal duties. In the month that followed, she accompanied William on a visit to meet the families of the victims of the stabbing that occurred in Southport in 2024. This was her first official engagement since she had completed treatment. During the month of January 2025, Catherine went back to the Royal Marsden Hospital, where she had been receiving treatment for cancer, in order to express her gratitude to the medical professionals who had provided her with care and to meet with other patients. After completing chemotherapy, this visit was her first solo public engagement since the treatment was finished. The long-awaited news was also disclosed by her in the form of an announcement. A remission had occurred in her cancer. Throughout her life, Catherine has been dedicated to charitable work, both before and after she became a member of the royal family. As part of the launch of Alastair Morrison's book, Time to Reflect, she organized a photography exhibition in 2007 to raise money for the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. Within the context of the modern era of the royal family, Catherine has emerged as a defining presence. Several journalists, including Camilla Tominey and Petronella Wyatt, have referred to her as the most valuable asset of the monarchy and the crown jewel it possesses. In spite of the intense scrutiny from the media, Catherine does not make decisions based on public relations strategy, according to her aides, despite the fact that Rhonda Gerlach of the New York Times has praised her ability to strike a balance between modernity and tradition. She acts in accordance with her moral convictions. Jamie Lowther Pinkerton, a former private secretary, referred to her approach as being almost archaic and stated that she simply does not engage in drama. What are your thoughts on the drama that has been involving the royal family? The comments section is where you should share your thoughts with us. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button on our channel. Simply select the following video that is displayed on your screen. You are going to take pleasure in it.